Hi and welcome to a new episode of Beyond Armor. Today I want to talk about plate carriers. Plate carriers are widely used in both military and law enforcement contexts, as well as by private security personnel and civilian preparedness enthusiasts. Their primary purpose is to provide ballistic protection while also serving as a platform for carrying mission-essential equipment. They are particularly useful in high-threat environments where there is a risk of gunfire and where mobility, adaptability, and quick access to equipment are crucial. Unlike traditional chest rigs, which were originally designed for carrying equipment without offering any ballistic protection, modern plate carriers combine both functions. Over time, they have evolved to become lighter and more modular than heavy armor vests, which offer more comprehensive protection but at the cost of weight and flexibility. While heavy vests typically cover the sides, shoulders, and sometimes the neck and groin, plate carriers focus on protecting the vital organs in the front and back of the torso, allowing greater mobility. Plate carriers are now commonly used in reconnaissance and special forces units, where the primary threat is small arms fire and their high mobility compensates the lack of protection. In combat zones with a high threat from fragmentation of any kind, the protection provided by a traditional plate carrier is insufficient. Modern plate carriers can generally be divided into three categories: classic plate carriers, modular plate carriers, and specialized plate carriers. Classic plate carriers often have a SAPI size or NATO standard plate for the front and rear. Some models can be upgraded with side plates of various sizes. Protection extends primarily to the so-called box, which contains vital organs such as the heart and lungs. Here, greater emphasis is placed on mobility and the transport of mission-critical equipment. Modular plate carriers can often be equipped with additional protective elements to protect, for example, the extremities, sides, genitals, and neck area. These plate carriers are suitable for a wider range of applications. They can be adapted to the respective requirements depending on the threat situation and offer greater protection if necessary. As the name suggests, specialized plate carriers are required for a narrow field of activity. For example, with an integrated chest harness for climbing or abseiling, plate carriers with integrated buoyancy aids for maritime use, or minimalist plate carriers for covered use. One example of these specialized plate carriers is our Hive system, which combines a standard waistcoat design with a covered plate carrier. This design was made for upgrading your standard day-to-day vest with additional protection in case of high-threat situations without blocking your equipment or opening the waistcoat. A key feature of plate carriers is their compatibility with standard ballistic plates such as SAPI or NATO standard inserts. These plates come in various sizes and choosing the correct size is essential. To learn more about heart ballistics, you can watch this video. The plate should cover the heart, lungs, and major blood vessels without restricting movement. A good rule of thumb is that the top edge of the plate should sit at the sternal notch, the dip at the base of the throat, and the bottom edge should rest above the belly button. Proper adjustment of the plate carrier is critical for both comfort and effectiveness. The shoulder straps should be tightened so that the front plate sits high enough to protect the upper chest. The cummerbund, which wraps around the torso, should be snug but not overly tight. Plates must be correctly inserted into the front and back compartments, and side plates can be added if additional protection is needed. Load distribution is also important. Gear should be arranged to balance weight and ensure that essential items like medical kits, magazines, and communication devices are easily accessible. Maintenance of the plate carrier and its components is straightforward but important. The fabric carrier should be cleaned with damp cloths and mild soap. Harsh chemicals and machine drying should be avoided. Ballistic plates, especially ceramic ones, must be handled with care to prevent cracks or damage that could compromise their protective capabilities. Regular inspections are recommended, and users should always be aware of the manufacturer's expiry dates. In summary, plate carriers offer a versatile and effective solution for those who require both protection, high agility, and the ability to carry equipment in a modular fashion. When properly fitted, maintained, and used in the right context, they provide a critical balance between safety, mobility, and operational efficiency.